If you're wondering where all that's coming from, guess what? Those home sitters are taking in a lot of sales tax revenue. And obviously the new families moving to our town. And the new families moving to our town, contrary to what a lot of people believe, they're coming from California, Texas. It's not people coming from overseas. It's not all of that. It's just local people. It's grandparents. We have a neighborhood that if I drive through it, it's been grandparents moving in that want to be here, you know, with their grandkids and everything, and their children that, you know, have jobs here in Greenville. So yes, we need impact fees. Don't get carried away. We can drive 30 minutes to Sulphur Springs. It's zero. There's no impact fee there. There's nothing on the horizon. It's zero. So let's don't get too out of kilter that we do affect our future growth, but you got to pay. You want to come and build 1 and 2 houses, make your money, and drive out of town? Nah, that don't work. You need to write a check. You want to come and put a new subdivision in? Guess what? You're going to have to pay us some park fees, and you're going to have to pay the permits for all of those houses. So that's the way it should work. Because this week, on Thursday, Friday, people are going to be going to their mailboxes, and they're going to open these little letters, and they're going to have Randy Weiniger's name up in the left-hand corner. And guess what? It's going up. All of you, anyone owning property in this room, get ready. It's going up. So guess what? We need an offset. And this could be an offset to help us because we have a lot to do in our city to make our city better.
Thank you, Mr. Ellis. Anyone
That's all?
else? No. No one else would like to speak, okay? So I'll close the public hearing, and what is the pleasure of the council regarding this issue? Is there any further discussion? Is there a motion? Whatever.
Should we maybe do 2 motions, one for the analysis and then one for the fee schedule and
It's a
ordinance?
single ordinance, so
It's a single ordinance, okay.
I think we ought to combine it all.
Okay.
Ready to do
I have a motion to make.
Okay?
I move that we approve the draft ordinance contained in the packet with the following changes. On page 3, item G, adopt the second choice of 2 possible options with the addition of the word credit underlined at the beginning of the section. On page 9, section D, remove the first 3 bullet points and add another point. Institutional uses identified in the impact fee studies LoveMet, L-U-V-M-E-T, will be exempt from impact fees. Page 10, section C, remove language at the end of paragraph, quote, as identified in blank, end quote, and with the following rates. For water, we will have an impact fee rate of $16.57. For wastewater, $19.13, and for roads, $12.25
That's per unit,
per unit. Yes.
right?
And that's
Specify
just the
that.
3/4 inch? That's just
Yes, the 3/4 inch single unit. Those are the rates for that.
There's a second. Please vote. And it passes unanimously. Moving on to ordinance 7A, consideration action on an ordinance, authorizing a professional services agreement with Cobb Findlay. Chris?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council. Yes, this is a contract. We brought the RFQ to you, I believe, the last meeting to select a firm to help us with acquisition of easements and land for our water and wastewater projects. And Cobb Findlay was the selected firm for this work. And this is the contract, was consideration to enter into services with them.
Okay, any questions? Being no questions, I'll open public testimony. Is there anyone like to speak?
No
Okay, being no one, I'll close public testimony. What is the pleasure of the council? Motion and second, please vote. And 7A passes unanimously. 7B, consideration and action on an ordinance entering into an agreement with Peloton Land Solutions to develop a downtown development plan. LaTora, spoke about this in work session.
Thank you, Mayor. The downtown Greenville Downtown Vision 2022 Committee selected Peloton Land Solutions to develop the downtown development plan for the city of Greenville. They were selected out of 7 consultants, and they were seemed to be the best qualified for the position.
Okay. Any
Did you say
questions?
7 or 70?
7 out of
Okay.
7, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, are there any questions? Okay, and I might note that this item will be paid for by TERS funds, and the TERS committee previously approved this, right? Okay, I'll open open 7B for public testimony. Anyone like to speak? No, there are no speakers, okay. And I'll close public testimony. Is there a motion from the council?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay,
I'll second.
motion and second, please vote. And it passes unanimously. Item 7C, consideration and action on an ordinance authorizing a construction contract with Heritage Constructors.
Yes, sir. Finally,
you.
after 4 years, we've
Thank you.
finally got our water filter project approved by TCEQ. We put it out to bid. Heritage was the low bidder on this. I'm gonna say the lowest responsible bidder. We feel very confident in them doing this project. This will allow our treatment plant to filter and push a lot more water through. Our filters are at their last leg right now. That they're old. They need a lot of work done, so this is absolutely needed for the future needs of the water plant to be able to push the water through that we need. So we're asking for approval of this contract with Heritage.
Okay, any questions for press regarding this issue? Public testimony?
No.
Okay. What is the pleasure of the council?
Second.
Motion second, please vote. Okay, and that passes unanimously. Item 7D, consideration and action on an ordinance authorizing a construction contract with Range Line Utility Services LLC.
Yes, sir. This is at Stewart and Anderson. It's a 14-inch line and a 20-inch line there. We've had major problems with the leak there. We exhausted everything we could in-house trying to fix it. So we put it out to bid for a contractor, put in some line stop valves so we can isolate in this line in the future, and then we can get a new valve put in there and get this corrected so we can get rid of that leak we have there. So we did put it out to bid. Range Line was the lowest responsible bidder, and we recommend a contract with them to get this work done.
Okay. Questions? Yes.
These valves are going to be left in permanently, so if we have further
Yes, sir.
problems,
These will be
we can
left in
isolate
so we can isolate it in
subsections.
the future.
Okay, great, thank you.
Public testimony? Nobody. Okay, is there a motion from the council?
Move to approve?
I second.
Motion second, please vote. And it passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ordinance 7E, consideration action on an ordinance amending the contract for the hotel occupancy tax funding with Dallas Symphony Greenville. Well, how are you tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. The City of Greenville is contracted with the Dallas Symphony Greenville to host, have the Dallas Symphony play 2 concerts for their patrons and 2 concerts for school kids in the municipal auditorium. Due to COVID-19, the DSO had to postpone twice and ultimately cancel one of the patron concerts and the concerts for the kids, for the students. To help make up for the lost patron concert, the DSO, or the Dallas Symphony Greenville, is bringing in smaller ensembles in July and August. About 10 members of the DSO come and will perform during on those dates. We took this information back to the Tourism and Convention Advisory Board March 28th, and their recommendation to the City Council is to amend the contract with Dallas Symphony Greenville to present 1 patron concert and 2 Dallas DSO on the Go ensembles, with the original $9,400 funding to remain the same. And ready, I would be happy to answer questions if you have any. That is the recommendation of the Tourism Board.
So, okay?
So, Doyle, does it sound like there's going to be additional public access to the smaller ensembles instead of just the two
There would
concerts?
be, I would say.
There'll be more
no.
exposure
It's
for the
mostly-
public to
It's
attend.
mostly for the patrons, people that have bought the tickets. Bottom line is the students, it's not for public. If the Dallas, you would have to have a ticket.
Thank you.
Will the same tickets bought previously apply now to all 3 events?
Yes. Yes.
Doyle, now this was the money that the Tourism Board recommended at their first meeting this year? Is that-
Yes.
The 9,000.
The very first recommendation was $9,400 back in January. City Council awarded that money. They had already canceled one concert or postponed a concert in October. It was postponed again in January, and the DSO just could not make it
Right.
fit back into their schedule to come back. So they're going to get 1 patron concert instead of 2, and the student concert will not happen. The patrons that buy tickets will get that smaller ensembles. About 10 members of the DSO come over.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
From the postponed and canceled concerts, what's happened with the funds from that event?
Would you ask that again?
You said that they postponed and then canceled. What has
Yes,
happened with the funds from that
The
event?
Dallas Symphony Orchestra will not be paid. You know,
Okay.
what happens to the funds that we gave them? You know, we have provided $9,400. The DSO for each patron concert is paid $20,000. The 2 children's concerts or student concerts, they're paid $20,000 total. So if they would have fulfilled their contract with the Dallas Symphony of Greenville, they would have been paid $60,000. As it turns out, they will be paid $20,000 for the concert that happens in June. The 2 DSO on the goes will cost about $13,000. So the Dallas Symphony will get paid roughly $43,000 instead of $60,000 this year.
Okay, so there's just no outstanding deposits.
Pardon?
There's no outstanding deposits or anything?
No.
Okay.
They will be paid. There will be a reduction. If you take 43 divided by 60, there's a 45% reduction that they will be paid. To the DSO.
That answer your question, Tim? Any other questions?
No.
Okay. Public testimony? Okay, thank you, Doyle. Is there a motion? What is the pleasure of the council?
Make a motion to approve.
With what amount?
I'm trying to put it in words. The original amended amount that was going to go to the DSO will be forfeited.
This
That-
would
that's not a
amend
good
the
word.
original contract, and the new, bottom line is they can't fulfill.
Their
It's at
contract.
no fault of the Dallas Symphony Greenville Group
Right.
that the DSO cannot come. And the recommendation of the Tourism Board is to amend the
Contract.
original contract. I guess it really rescinds or amends the original contract,
Amends probably.
saying that they are to bring 2 patron concerts and 2 concerts for students. The new contract would state they will bring 1 patron concert, 2 DSO on the goes, and then for whatever price. If you would like to keep the $9,400, that was the recommendation of the Tourism Board. That could be amended as well.